Brazil, India, and Mexico are taking on China's export. So apparently, China have 1.4 billion people, and India have 1.4 billion people. The populations of people in India are higher than the people in China. So that is to say, when it comes to human capital, India have an edge over China when it comes to human capital. So, but when it comes, China has an edge over India because China have more natural resources when it comes to India. So you see where it's because even when you come to the population, the difference between China's human capital and India's human capital is not that much because China is at 1.4 something and India is equally at 1.4. Just the difference is not much, but the population of people in India are higher than that of China, but the difference is not that much. So you see that India have a small edge when it comes to human capital, but China is leading because China is blessed with immense with human capital and immense natural resources, which India don't have to that percent of volume of natural resources that China has. To avoid an economic shock, they are pursuing a strange mix of free trade and protectionism. At last, it seems time for manufacturing takeoff. Having struggled to compete with China's industrial might, other emerging markets stood ready to benefit as their rivalries' labor costs surged and rising tensions between it and the West pushed firms to look for a new factory locations. What made this so-called their Western rivalries now to be looking for a new location? They moved their businesses there in the first place because they are getting cheap labor there. That's why some of the companies here in the West move their branches to China where they are getting cheap labor and they will transport these finished goods back in Europe here and be making a whole lot of money. So if they are giving China some conditions which are not favorable to China, China will equally be giving them some conditions which are not favorable to them. That is what the rivalry is about. That's why you see that they are moving, they are looking for new locations where to move their businesses. China does not lose anything at the end of the day because China will just need to amend their policies and they will equally have people coming from other countries that are not the West yet that are coming in or moving their businesses to China or are coming into China to invest. Yes. So China just need to invest heavily in their human capital and reform some of their policies to bring in foreign investors. They are in business. They have nothing to lose. But China has started to fight back to reverse the economic slowdown and cement its control over global supply chains. Its leaders have launched an investment spree in high tech. You see, they are even investing in high tech goods such as batteries, electric vehicles, and other green devices. Weak, weak domestic demand for traditional products such as cars, chemicals, and steel mean they are also flooding global markets. The average price of Chinese manufactured exports fell by nearly 10% from 2022 to 2023. China's exports volumes have surged to near record levels. So, if the people in the West, because of their rivalry, the issues they are having with China, decide to be looking for new locations, if they think that they will get cheap labor in those new locations, that's what business is all about. Yes. So at the end of the day, these Western companies who were in the China before getting cheap labor because they want to make more money by sending those goods, finished goods back in Europe to make more money, they are finding new cheaper locations. That is why they are in business. Yes. And good competition is always good in business because at the end of the day, the customers or the consumers will get the goods cheaper. That is why it's always good to have good competition because when there's no competitors in business, it means when it's a one-man thing, that one man can have a total monopoly and decide to skyrocket the prices or hike the prices of the goods anytime he or she decides, which will not be funny for the customers or the consumers. So good competition is always good.